Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood, feeling blessed.
All right, let's take a look at our homework for 5.3.5. Problem number 144 is a word problem, so we'll use the 5D process. Says the number of girls at middle school cyber summer camp was 6 more than twice the number of boys. Okay, 6 more than twice the number of boys. So it seems like boys should be our variable x, and the girls will be compared to that 6 more than 2 times what the boys are. So we'll start our trials with the boys and then figure out how many girls there are, and there are a total of 156 total boys and girls. So that's what we're going to use to gauge our decision. So let's start off by doing the traditional guess and check method that everyone has learned. If we just guessed that maybe there were 20 boys, then there would have to be 46 girls, because 2 times 20 is 40 plus 6 is 46. But that only adds up to 66. So that's way too low. So I jumped it up to 60. And that would mean that the number of girls would be 126, which is 126, and that equals 186, and that's on the high end. But notice how 186 is closer to 156 than 66 was? It's only 30 away. So rather than jump down to 30 or 40, I'm going to jump down to 50. And that ends up being the correct answer. So 50, and then pull that and add 6 is 106. Add them together, that's 156. So the number of boys is 50 and the number of girls is 106. That would be these two numbers right there that we would declare. So if I wanted to solve this algebraically, I would do it like this. I would first start by combining like terms, right? I'd take my number of boys, x, plus the number of girls, x plus 6, and I'd combine the like terms so that x plus 2x is 3x plus 6 equals 156. Then I take away 6 from each side, because 3x plus 6 is 156. So I want to know what 3x is equal to before I added the 6 on, and that would be 150. What do you multiply times 3 to give you 150? Well, that is 50. So once you know what x is, you can then use that to figure out what the other variable is. So the boys was x, so that would be 50, and the girls must be 2x plus 6, which is 106 in this case. The good old diamond problems, remember you multiply these two numbers together to get the product on the top, and you add them together to get the sum on the bottom. So in this case, 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, and 8 plus negative 2 is positive 6. Here you'd have to think, all right, what do you multiply times 6 to give you 0? It must be a 0. So then 0 plus 6 is 6. And here, what would you add to 0, or I'm sorry, what would you add to negative 4? To give you 0, you add the opposite, right? 4 plus negative 4, so this must be a 4. And now when you multiply those two numbers together, you get negative 16. And this one, that's just a horrible problem. Don't like it one bit. Let's just move on. All right. Which of the following expressions could be used to find the mean? Remember, when you find the mean of 3 numbers or any number, any set of numbers, you add these numbers together, then divide by the number of numbers. So k plus m plus n divided by 3 will always give you the mean. So there's first add, then divide process for finding the mean. Probability problems. The giant prize wheel at the county fair is evenly divided into 10 sections. So that's going to be my denominator. One is labeled large prize, 3 are labeled small prize, and the rest are labeled no prize. So you got the large prize would be 1 out of 10 probability. The small prize would be 3 out of the 10. What's this saying? If you spin once, what's the probability of winning any prize? Oh, got it. Okay. So that, if it's going to be any prize, that means it could be the large prize, which is a 1/10 probability, or it could be the small prize, which would be a 3/10 probability. So just getting a prize alone is going to be 4/10, and getting a no prize would end up being 6/10. So 6 sections, the rest are no prize. So the complement of it is 4/10. So you could have done it 2 different ways. So remember, the idea of this is, if 50 people spin the prize wheel, approximately how many people should expect to win a prize of any kind? So if we expect that 4 of every 10 people who play, who spin the wheel, get a prize, then how many would get a prize if we did that sequence 5 times, or a total of 50 times? So this is where proportional reasoning comes in. Since 10 times 5 is equal to 50, then 4 times 5 would get you that number, which is 20 people would be expected to get a prize. All right, and this is a checkpoint problem. We are expected, after all the practice we've been doing the last few weeks of order of operations, we are expected to now be able to answer these questions without too much trouble. If you are still struggling to get these answers, you need to practice this. You need to find the opportunity. Go to the website, go to the checkpoint problems. There are tons of them there for you to do, and the answers are there as well. In fact, why don't I just go ahead and show you where that is. If we go to the online book and you go to, let's close this down. We don't need this guy open. Go to the reference checkpoints. And which checkpoint problem is this? This is the one for chapter 5, right? So you go to the chapter 5 checkpoint problems, which are all about order of operations. It reteaches you, shows you some examples, and look at all those problems that you can practice with. And they show you the answers. So you'll get immediate feedback as to whether or not you're getting it right. So if you are struggling at all with these types of problems, it really is your job. You are the one who knows what you know. You know what you don't know. You know what you need to practice on. You need to take the initiative and do this. It's not going to happen on its own. Okay? So how do we solve these problems? Well, first we do parentheses. If there's no parentheses, then we move to exponents. This would become 2 to the 3rd power, which is 8. So it becomes 16 minus 8 divided by 8 plus 5. Now we give multiplication and division priority over addition and subtraction. So we have to do the 8 divided by 8 first, which is 1. So this becomes 16 minus 1 plus 5. 16 minus 1 is 15, and 5 plus 5 is 20. Here, parentheses have the priority. So let's do negative 2 plus 6 is 4, and 4 squared is going to be 16 because exponents come next. Then we're going to do this division problem, which is 3 divided by 2 times 14. Actually, we could do 1.5 times 14, or we could do 3 over 2 times 14 over 1, which is, that's a 3, not a 13. Stop it. Which this becomes, actually, let me do some cross canceling. That's going to be a 1, that's going to be a 7, so this is going to be 21. So this is going to be 21 there, a 16 here, and then the last part was plus 1. So 16 minus 21 is negative 5, and negative 5 plus 1 gives you negative 4 for the answer. Okay, so always follow the order of operations, which is PEMDAS, and as you complete each step, rewrite the expression and cross off each one as you complete it. And that, stop it, I didn't want to do that. I want to do this. That's what I thought. Okay, so that brings us to a close. Let's go ahead and move on to our next activity. Take care.
Hey, feeling good, like I should.